Sorry about that, YouTube. My thing was on mute. Let's calm the music down a bit. Welcome to KO Bets. My name is Bill. Before we get the show started, please subscribe to the channel, like the video. I really appreciate the support you show to me. Helps me show up on more people's YouTube pages, so I appreciate that support always. This was just kind of impromptu, right? I didn't have any really plan to go live tonight. I just thought, like, I'm going to be traveling. We don't have UFC for like 28 straight days, 4 weeks. I just thought it would be good to do a show today to recap 2022, which was an awesome year. I think at the beginning of this year, I probably had like 14 subscribers to the channel. Now look at me. I'm at like, 56? And that's all thanks to everyone who follows me. So I really do appreciate that. A goal of mine was to we're at 57. A goal of mine was to get up to 100 subscribers in 2022. Didn't quite reach that goal, but I'm going to set a more realistic goal of reaching 125. And I just made that up. 125 subscribers at the end of 2023. So I think we're going to hit 100. I think we're going to easily hit 100. So I'm just doing 125, like we're doubling, we're over exceeding expectations. Let's get 125 channel subs by the end of 2023. Tell everyone about it. Anyways, back to tonight. Just wanted to go live to recap 2022, the success we had. We're going to go over who the current belt holders are. We're going to do a best of award show. I'm going to just basically hand out my awards for different categories that I picked out here. We're going to go through some notable storylines of 2022. I gotta shout out the audience. I gotta award someone the spot of best KO Bets subscriber for 2022, and it was a tough decision to make. It really was a tough decision to make. And then we're gonna, of course, go over 2023. I want to give my predictions as far as future champs. We can look at those lines in Draftkings. Talk about show plans for 2023, and then what I'm looking forward to most in the upcoming year. So without further ado, let's just get this over with. Recap Strickland against Cannonier. I think this was a pretty decent fight for us. Took Cannonier, took Sarukian. Kane. I was celebrating Christmas. I didn't really watch this, unfortunately, but I rewatched the Cannonier Strickland fight and Armin's fight. Amir Albazi had him. Picked Julian Erosa. Alex Caceres. I gotta stop fading that dude. I just, he's karate. I don't really trust it. Looks fucking outstanding. Knocked out Julian Erosa. Good shit. Took Bobby Green. He was looking pretty good until he got cracked. Judover's tough. Michael Olajaychuk did what he needed to do on short notice against Brundage. Had him. I took Cheyenne. So Corey McKenna won the unanimous decision. Jake Matthews did not look good. Coming off of that impressive performance against Fiallo, did not look good against Semmelsberger. Saeed scores the second round submission. Sayukub was just kind of drilling takedowns this match. Had Sayukub. Got caught in a nasty spot. Who did we have in Rafa? I think we took Rafa Garcia. Yeah, we took Rafa Garcia. He wins the unanimous decision. Took Renat. Manel took him. So I took him to win via KO. I thought there was no way this dude was going to win a decision, so that was surprising that he won the decision. And Sergey Morozov took him. So overall, pretty good. 1, 2, 3 fights in a row. 4, 5. Not that good. 5 incorrect bets. Not incorrect bets, but, you know, money line picks out of 13. All right, we got to go over some of the best of, right? And I don't know how we're going to... I don't know what the best way to present this is. I should have made a PowerPoint. That's what I should have done. But we're going to start with our different categories. We're going to go first with Knockout of the Year. Chandler, KO versus Ferguson. I mean, I know that Leon Edwards had more on the line or whatever, and like, I don't know. This knockout was just electric. It was just electric, right? Yeah, I know Leon had more on the line. Honestly, Leon might be my... No, he's not. I don't give Leon a whole lot of respect actually in this this best of 2022. Holy shit. I mean, this knockout to me, it was just electric. It was just my favorite knockout of the year. The up kick, the front kick, KO's Ferguson. Ferguson was beating him a little bit. I mean, this was a super exciting card too. Damn. You can tell I'm drinking something heavy. I am having an old-fashioned this evening. Just drop my mic over. Let me pull up the chat here. Anyone in the chat? Maybe. Yeah, but that's gonna be my knockout of the year. We will give the honorable mention to Leon. Circumstantially, like Leon. I mean, this kick that Leon had against Usman in the waning seconds of the 5th round of a title fight, where he was down 3-1 and losing the 5th round. That is not a joke. That is not a joke at all. But we're going to go with Chandler as the front kick. I will do an honorable mention. I'll try and do that on the front end. The next we're going to do is submission of the year. And my honorable mention for submission of the year is Islam Makhachev's submission versus Charles Oliveira. I mean, it came at 3 minutes and 16 seconds of the second round. Overall, I mean, I was just super impressed with Islam's performance in this fight against Oliveira, who just was... I mean, he was putting dudes away. He put away Chandler, he put away Poirier, he put away Gaethje. I mean, he was putting people away at 155. And the performance that Islam had was pretty incredible. But I think my submission of the year is going to be Yuri Prochazka, his submission against Glover Teixeira. I think this rear naked choke, 5th round of the fight, needed to go out there and do something to get the win. It was arguable. It was a close fight. Great fight. Could be my fight of the year, could not be. But great, incredible fight, and Yuri Prochazka gets that 5th round rear naked choke, gets Teixeira to tap. You didn't really see that happening. At least I didn't. I wasn't predicting that Prochazka was going to get the rear naked choke victory. So that was pretty crazy. So yeah, that's going to be my submission of the year. The fight of the year, an honorable mention is going to go to Khamzat versus Burns. I was celebrating my 30th birthday. I think this was on April 10th of this year. And I was celebrating my 30th birthday, and this was a 3-round battle, a 3-round war against these two fighters, and it was just a super entertaining fight. I think everyone was entertained at the party. To be honest, it was there was a lot of socializing going on, but I think everyone was like paying attention to this fight for sure. Great fight, but that's going to be the honorable mention. And the fight of the year is going to go back to Yuri Prochazka against Glover Teixeira. This was a great fight, arguably 2-2 heading into that 5th round. Really excellent fight, and then the finish was spectacular as well, with the rear naked choke. So that's going to be my fight of the year. My fighter of the year, and I'd prefer to go to Sherdog to take a look at this guy, but what the hell? What just happened? Oh, I've got the wrong thing pulled up. I might have been changing the wrong window frame. I think I was. So I apologize about that. But I was flashing up some different screens. Damn. So Khamzat versus Gilbert was the honorable mention. Whatever. But this is going to be my fighter of the year. And we got to pull up the Sherdog to do him justice. It's going to be Alex Pereira. And the honorable mention is going to go to Volkanovski, who just continues a dominant reign. But to think about the fact that Alex Pereira was 1-0 in the UFC heading into 2022, beat Bruno Silva via unanimous decision, right? And then fights Sean Strickland, KOs him in the 1st round, and then fights a dominant champion in Israel Adesanya and KOs him in the 5th round. Like, it's his year. Kind of crazy, right? The dude was 4-1 heading into this year, and then he capped it off. He's now 7-1, and his last victory was over the belt holder, Israel Adesanya. I mean, he is undoubtedly my fighter of the year. Honorable mention, Alex Volkanovski, and just throwing this out there, I think Islam has a terrific opportunity, and Volkanovski have a terrific opportunity to repeat this trend next year. And I think Hamzat and some other fighters who can drift between divisions can also do that. Yeah, so in 2022, the dude's just unreal. Unreal performance against Chan Sung Jung. Unreal performance against Holloway. Ortega gave him a great ride in 2021, but yeah, Volkanovski is good. He is an extremely good fighter. Excited to watch him against Islam. I'm going Islam, but excited to watch that. The next category is Breakout Fighter of the Year. And I went with Pereira again. Just, we knew the story, the backstory, right? This dude KO'd Israel Adesanya kickboxing or whatever. But to come into the UFC and after going 3-0, getting that belt opportunity, and I know it is circumstantial and it is narrative related, right? This fight got pushed. Izzy talked about it, his last fight. It was here, and Pereira's just... What an unreal year. What an unreal year. Going 1-0 to 4-0 in the UFC with the belt. I mean, absolutely tremendous. I have a Rookie of the Year, so I'm not gonna name the runner-up just because he is my Rookie of the Year. I'm not gonna name him. As we're sitting here and just like discussing things, I think Hamzat only had the one fight this year, right? Against Gilbert Burns in April. It's kind of crazy. Anyways. Oh, no, he fought Kevin Holland. Performance of the year. It's got to go to Islam. I mean, his performance against a dangerous fighter in Oliveira was just... it was great. Maybe Nunez against Pena, number 2, would be my runner-up. Like, that was a clinic, but Makhachev looked really, really good in this fight. And I'm just thinking off the top of my head how other champions did. Yeah, I could throw Volkanovski versus Chan Sung or Holloway in the mix there too. But for the most, maybe Wei Li against Esparza. Yeah, I don't know. There were great fights, right? And there were great performances, dominant performances. But I think just given how dangerous Charles was, how tough he had shown he was, like, Gaethje, Chandler, and Poirier couldn't put him away. In fact, he finished all of them. Like, Islam's performance was impressive. My Rookie of the Year, is going to go to Muhammad Mokaev. I think I debated Habib's brother, but I think Muhammad's a really, really elite grappler. And he he had impressive and dominant performances against Durden, Johnson, and Malcolm Gordon this year, and he looks to be the real deal. I think he's already maybe top 15 at 125, and he just keeps pushing for more and more challenges. I think maybe, how old is he? He's 22. Youngest UFC champion ever. John Jones was 23. So I think Makayev's going to be 23, but I wonder when Jones won it relative to his birthday. Makayev's the closest thing in a while that we've seen who could potentially do that, just because he is pushing to do that. And the division is a little bit... I think it's a deep division. I don't think he's really gonna be in a position to do it just because he beat Malcolm Gordon and cracked the top 15. I do think it's a deep division. I think there's like this hierarchy. You got Sterling. Oh wait, that's 35. Figueiredo and Moreno. I mean, they gotta close the chapter on that, right? After 4 fights. I guess we'll see. Like, if he could get a top 5 opponent, like I think Pantoja's opponent or someone's opponent, someone in the top 5, their opponent just dropped out. Like, if he could draw that, Muhammad Makayev, I know he wants to fight in England, where I think he trains, and yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be tough though in my opinion, to get that youngest UFC champion ever. I'm doing it. I'm putting someone on blast. I'm doing the worst of 2022. I saw this guy on TikTok, and like he's good. He's trying to interact with fans, and he's like typically responds on there. Jared Vanderaa, bro. 4 losses this year, right? And I'm not even like Sergey Spivak, Romanov in 2021. Tough opponents, really tough opponents, right? But you kickboxed with Andrei Arlovsky, lost a split decision. You grappled with Oleinik, who, how many 47 submissions. Like, you grappled with Oleinik. Chase Sherman, you boxed with Chase Sherman, which is basically all he can do. 16 wins, 15 knockout victories. One of those is your ass. And then Waldo, I bet on him a few times this year, if you can't tell. But yeah, he's by far the worst fighter, in my opinion, of 2022. And and 4. He's on a 5-fight losing streak, and he's in a heavyweight division that's top heavy, and he'll be fine. Like, he'll stay. He'll continue to get opportunities, I'm sure. Unless he was cut already. Alright. Let's see. We did the best of awards. We did the... Oh, we gotta look at... Well, let's just do rankings. Let's look at the current uh, belt rank, the rankings. Figueiredo beat Moreno their last time out, but then we saw Moreno put on, knock out Kai Kara France with that liver kick this year. Interim championship. Basically the same story as what it was last year, at the end of last year. Aljamain, really dominant performance against TJ Dillashaw, who is obviously hurt, and then also beat Peter Yan. Sean O'Malley's the #1 contender. I hope we see Marlon versus Sean O'Malley in 2022 or 2023. I hope we see that fight again. #2. I mean, we might have gotten robbed of a classic in that first one, looking at it now. I hope we see that. But anyways, Aljamain 2-0 on the year. Doesn't sound like he wants to be any more active than that. Is he fighting Cejudo? I don't know. I do not know. Merab's got to get a fight. Vera, did he get a fight booked? I don't know. It might have been Sanhagen. But I'm not sure. Did Sanhagen versus Vera get booked? I'm pretty sure it did. And I'm pretty sure some people were throwing a fit that it was at the Apex or something. It's like, come on. Come on. Chill out. Alright, featherweight. Volkanovski, 2-0 on the year. KO's Chan Sung Jung. Beats Max Holloway decisively. Islam, this is our first. Well, I guess it was I can't remember. I thought that was like December last year, but Islam takes the belt away from Charles Oliveira. I think 2-1 on the year. I think he beat both Gaethje and Poirier, but maybe it was only Poirier and Oliveira he fought this year. Usman loses the belt. Two of the more dominant champions back to back here. Usman and Adesanya lose the belt. Now we have Leon Edwards, Pereira. For light heavyweight, no current champion. Man, I thought Ankalaev won that fight against Jan, but split decision. Now it's going to be Glover Teixeira and Jamal Hill for the belts. I'll give my prediction there. Francis Ngannou. Did he only have the one fight against Cyril Gane last year? I don't know. Click on Cyril Gane. Okay, so it's technically January. So Ngannou 1-0 this year. Nunez. Oh, that's pound for pound. Wei Li. She had a good year, right? I think she might have gone. She took the belt from Esparza. She beat Joanna. Okay, so I guess she went 2-0 on the year. Got the belt back. Shevchenko, great year. Amanda Nunes. Don't remember if she lost to Pena this year or if that was last year. It's technically last year, 2021. December. So it goes 1-0 this year. Would like to for sure see Amanda a little more active this year. So those are the belt holders. Notable absence. John Jones, McGregor. I don't know. Is there anyone else we missed? John Jones, McGregor. Notable stories in 2022. We just got to keep up with James Krause, that situation. It's for sure very interesting. I think that Derek Minor is now getting investigated. There was Jeff Molina is now too. So that's fascinating from a betting perspective. Just hope they weren't fixing fights. I think that's obviously kind of sick and manipulative if they were. Borderline reckless and dangerous, but whatever. I gotta give away an award for the best fans of 2022, and I wrote the names of those people on the belt, and as you can hear, you hear that? That's solid gold. You hear that? That's solid gold. So I wrote on it with Sharpie, honorable mention. You see it there, Bobby? You see it there? Bobby. Honorable mention. And the victor, you might not be able to see it there, but it's my mom. It's my mom. All right. Moving ahead to 2023. We got to preview 2023. So I thought this would be fun to do. We got futures on Draftkings. We can pick the frickin' champs of each division. Heavyweight's an interesting one, right? How is this Francis contract situation panning out? I don't know, to be honest. Who's John Jones gonna fight? Is he gonna fight Francis Ngannou? Is that where he's gonna make his debut? I mean, I'm so excited to see John Jones at heavyweight. Is he gonna debut though against the champ, right? And then if he doesn't debut against the champ, like Stipe makes sense just because he's not like really pushing the limits as far as physical size for the division. So I think that's a fascinating matchup. Other than that, like, yeah, I say throw him in the fire. I don't want to see him get wrestled by like Curtis Blades for 5 rounds, but throw him into the fire. I'd like to see him against Francis Ngannou. Personally, I think Cyril Gane is just like so incredible for the division. I think he's like, he might be a little bit smaller than Francis from like a size perspective, but I think he's far more skilled. And if he had gone through a training camp where he knew Francis was potentially going to take him down, like he's one stupid takedown away from failed takedown away from being champ, in my opinion. That was a close ass fight. But yeah, I like Cyril Gane. Man, Ngannou showed a lot against Gane, just like getting that decision and wrestling a little bit. I think John Jones, if he's gonna make his debut this year, and I think it's John Jones. I think John Jones is gonna beat Francis Ngannou. I think it might be like a unanimous decision, and I think it's gonna just solidify his status as the greatest of all time. And even if he loses, I think he's still just an incredible fighter, and for sure on my Mount Rushmore of the like 4 greatest fighters of all time. Light heavyweight, right? This is interesting because we've got Yuri and Hill fighting for it now. I think, or not Yuri, we've got Jan and Hill fighting for it now. I think Hill wins this, but I think Ankalaev is the most talented, and if he gets the opportunity, I think Hill can beat Glover Teixeira. I don't mind this value though on Glover, considering he's getting the title shot, and you can get him at plus 800 odds to finish the year with the belt. Like, hopefully he doesn't. I mean, I think he wants that rematch against Yuri, and Yuri might not fight next year. It's just a tough shoulder injury. I think Ankalaev, his opportunity and chance probably relies heavily with Yuri's status, because I think if Hill and Teixeira fight and then Yuri's ready to go, ready to start training and rehabbing, and he's talking to the UFC in like May of this year, maybe April, like, do we see them book that Glover versus Yuri fight? I do think eventually Ankalaev is just the best in the division. Almeida is interesting to me. But yeah, I think Ankalaev is the best, but I think, gosh, and then if Yuri's coming off of his shoulder injury and his first fight's Glover again, I think I like the value on Glover. I think I like it a lot. It's obviously super contingent on this fight with Hill, but I think I like Glover, the value. Men's middleweight: Adesanya, Pereira, Hamzat, Whitaker, Bo Nickel, Dolitzy. Man, if you're Dolitzy, you can't get your ass whooped for a round and a half and get that crazy submission against Hermanson, in my opinion. Like, that's not enough. So gosh, I think Robert Whitaker and Hamzat smash Pereira and Adesanya the next time they see each other. I don't know about Rob against Adesanya, but I think Rob could just like implement a super grapple heavy approach, and I think he could beat Pereira. I'm going to say I really like the value on Whitaker here. Yeah, I like the value on Whitaker. I don't think there's any shot that Bo Nickel gets up here. I think his debut is already delayed. Was supposed to fight Pickett. So 2-0 in the Contender Series, but yeah, give me Rob Whitaker. Give me Rob Whitaker. And especially the fact that he doesn't have a fight Like, why don't we see that? Doesn't Hamzat want to fight at 180? Why don't we see Hamzat against Rob? And that would set the stage perfectly for, like, the winner of Izzy versus Pereira. And then you could have the loser fight the loser of that matchup. And it would set up beautifully. And then Cannonier's fighting Duplessis, who's doing a terrific job of running up the rankings. Imavov's fighting he's fighting on the 14th. He's fighting Gastelum. And Imavov looks good, but I don't know. We'll see. Brunson's fighting Duplessis. Yeah, Brunson's fighting Duplessis. I guess Cannonier. That's interesting. Who's he gonna face? He just fought Strickland. We'll see. But I like Whitaker, I think. Champion December 31st, 2023 for welterweight. So I think they're scheduled to fight what card's scheduled in London? I think it's UFC. March 18th is UFC 286. If Usman isn't ready for that, pass him up. Honestly, pass him up, Leon. Seriously. If he's not ready for that, just pass him up. I think if Usman's ready for that date, like, terrific. But I think if you're the UFC, if you're Leon Edwards, it's worth fighting, like, even as shitty as it sounds, like a guy like Masvidal, just to, like, be on that card, headline that card as a London and England-based champion. Like, it just makes sense business-wise. And if Usman doesn't like it, he should be ready to fight on that card. That's my opinion. I think Usman's going to be the champion at the end of 2023. I think the only way he's not champion is if he has to face Khamzat Chimaev. And then I think in that case, Khamzat puts himself in a really good spot to be champ. But I honestly, I don't know what Khamzat's waiting for. You've got Shavkat coming in next week. Or not next week, but... Well, who just dropped out of his fight? It was, Jeff Neal just dropped out with injury. So, you've got Shavkat, who's also undefeated, who's also been super impressive in the UFC. You've got Bilal Muhammad. You got Colby Covington. You got Burns, who's fighting Magny. Masvidal, who has a storyline with Edwards. I don't know when Khamzat's going to get his title opportunity. I almost think it makes sense to try and fight Whitaker on this Australia card and insert yourself in the conversation to face the winner here. Because you could get that fight, I think, in 2023. I don't think you're going to get it, the title opportunity in 2023 in this division at welterweight. So I'm going to pick Usman to be the champ. I think just because we've seen him beat Leon, we saw him beat Leon early in his career, and he was beating Leon bad. Colby Covington, we saw him beat twice. Bilal Muhammad, it'd be an interesting fight, but I think Usman would be significantly more technical and as a fighter, just a little bit better. So I'm beat Masvidal. twice. Saw him beat Gilbert Burns. So I just think it's Usman. Unless Khamzat's in the way, I think it's going to be Usman. Khamzat against Colby. That's obviously a great fight to put your name in the title picture. I think Bilal Khamzat would be, another name where you could insert yourself in that conversation. Ooh. Spicy. $155. I think it's going to be Islam. I like the value on Beneil Dariush. I think he could realistically get an opportunity this year. Poirier just beat Chandler, which was obviously super impressive and keeps him in this discussion. I'd like to see Poirier Oliveira. I think Oliveira should have gotten the immediate rematch against Makhachev, but whatever. I mean, I'd like to see Oliveira Poirier again, not for the belt. I'd like to see Dariush over Poirier, over Gaethje, over Sarukian, Fiziev, Gamrot, Volkanovski. I feel like Volkanovski moving up for this fight is just, it's whatever. It just puts the division on pause. But I think Islam is in a great spot to defend the belt against Volkanovski. If he fights Charles again, like, let's face it, he's going to be the heavy favorite.